Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. This is your friend and host Supratik signing in from Bangalore on this glorious day. What we are doing today is we are taking a short ride in the city. Um, by the way, this is the Agara Lake. It's pretty close to my place. A lot of joggers and uh, people come here in the mornings and the evenings to get their daily workout. I've never been here to be honest with you, but yeah, it's a nice place. Okay, so what we are doing today is we're going to take a short ride in the city and talk about a few more points about the bike. Um, Last video I uploaded got a few comments and people were asking a few things I missed actually in the first video. So I thought it would be a good idea to take the bike out Saturday and talk about those points while we are on the go. It is pretty sunny in the front. I'm not sure if the GoPro is being able to capture the footage properly or not. I hope it's doing so, and I hope that any of this footage is worth using in a video, in a vlog. It's still pretty early in the morning. I haven't had my coffee, and I'm still pretty sleepy to be honest with you. Yeah, so I'm messing up my words and whatnot. Anyway, let's start. Um, so, three or four main points we are going to try to cover in this episode today. First one will be how it is in city, how it handles in city, and if we can actually use it regularly on city roads for commuting to work or something. Um, the second point being how it is for the pillion. Is it any good? Is it comfortable or not? Uh, and if you can do long distances uh, with the pillion on this bike. Third point to cover would be um the price of the bike and the cost of maintenance. From what I've experienced till now, I've done the first service, um, so how it has been. Is it too expensive compared to other premium bikes, or it's just fine? So we're going to discuss that, and finally a few other generic points in terms of ergonomics, and also a few problems that I've faced till now. So without further ado, let me just get right to it. Um, I know I'm shouting, I shouldn't be shouting. But anyway, so city handling. Okay. So you know what, guys? This is a pretty light bike at 168 kilos dry weight, and it barely weighs probably a little bit more than a Pulsar 180 or something. Pulsar 220 these days, yeah. So you're not going to feel the weight at any point of time, no matter where you're riding. Be it in the city, be it in the highways. It's always going to be light and nimble and agile. So you don't have to worry about handling, and it's pretty easy to filter through traffic and you know um, just to cut through traffic and splitting lanes and stuff like that. So no worries there. And there is enough get go when you need the power. Oh my fuck. And even though if it's quite light, still it gets unsettled over big bumps that we have on our roads, which are so frequent on our roads. And every time you don't expect a bump on the road, and you don't stop at the right time, you're going to be worried about the alloys later on, if they're bent or not. uh, I suppose they are fine. It's not possible to bend an alloy at such a low speed, but still you can't help wondering that if you've broken something or not. um, So the second big point, that would be pillion comfort, and how it is for the pillion um, to be on the bike for long periods of time or even long distances. So this is a sport bike, and the subframe is almost taken directly from the Daytona, and so it's pretty high up in the air, and it's uh, not a very doesn't look very comfortable from a distance. um, but there is a certain way of sitting on a sport bike as a pillion. You have to take the support from the tank itself and things like that. uh, so initially we didn't know that, and we were struggling a little bit as a couple in terms of how to ride the bike, without putting the entire weight on me, which gets pretty uncomfortable in bad traffic and stuff, and the entire weight comes on your wrists. We watched a couple of YouTube videos, and we actually practiced how to sit on this bike a couple of times, and last week we went out to Kolar, and it was pretty okay. Yeah, so it's never going to be very comfortable uh, in bumper to bumper traffic, but once you're out on the highway and you're doing decent amount of speed, you don't feel any problem. Yeah. So in conclusion, um, riding around with a pillion is not that bad, but if you are planning to do bumper to bumper city traffic for hours, I would advise just take a cab or bring your car, and be more comfortable that way. The bike doesn't like it, you won't like it, your partner won't like it, so it's a no-win for no one, right? So the last point that I think I have to mention, because I got a couple of queries, would be regarding the price and the maintenance and stuff like that. So this bike is I think 8.84 lakhs ex showroom, and the on-road price will depend on which city you are in right now, and you are planning to purchase in which city. Um if you don't know, Bangalore road taxes are pretty exorbitant, and are quite whimsical. They charge a 20% as a road tax, which is I don't know, ridiculous. But yeah, we have to pay that, and you know, um, the on-road price of the bike goes up pretty high because of that. So in Bangalore, this one would cost you 11.32 lakhs. I think 11.5 lakhs actually, with all the protective accessories from Triumph. If you want to get them, you can get them outside as well. But it's always better to have protective stuff on the bike, and so there's no point in cutting costs there. I think in Mumbai is something around 10.5 to 10.6 or even 10.7. So there is a good 50 to 60,000 rupees of difference there between the different cities. Um, and maintenance would be okay. Let's just fuel up and then continue the conversation. Uh, 99 octane. Okay, so we are done fueling, and let me continue where we were. Yeah, so I'm not getting a good mileage. As you can see, it's around 5.5 liters per kilometer, which roughly translates to something around 16 to 17. Okay, I mostly did city rides though for with this tank full, so I cannot complain like that. Yeah. So getting back to where we were, uh, okay, the total kilometers on the bike is 1234. Not sure if you can see it. Quite funny. Anyway, so where we were, regarding using 99 octane and stuff. So it doesn't produce more power than normal regular petrol, but it does resist against detonation and stuff like that, and also cleans up the engine parts as well. So when you're using higher grade fuel, there is a chance of carbon deposition on the engine parts. So it contains some amount of cleaning agents which cleans that carbon, so it keeps your engine in a healthier state. So that's why I've been using this 99 octane till now. And also what I've noticed is with lower grade fuel, you often get some amount of knocking at lower speeds. So at high res and under high stress conditions, oftentimes the fuel tend to detonate, and if that happens, you may get cracked piston heads and stuff like that, which are not good at all. So that's why I've been using it. Coming back to price and other maintenance costs, so I have done my first servicing, which involves just an oil change and cleaning and lubing and stuff they do just to take money from you, to be honest. So it was okay. It was around something around 7 to 8,000 rupees, which is normal in terms of high-end bike maintenance costs. It was the same with the Scrambler as well. Of course, with the Scrambler, there was this Desmo service that you have to do every 24,000 kilometers, which is an exorbitant amount of money. You have to spend something anything in the range of 24,000 to 50,000 rupees. So that's a lot, if you understand what I mean. Nothing like that on this bike. So the costs are going to be quite similar, but again, with more kilometers this bike is being ridden around, there will be parts which will be needing replacement at some point or the other, like brake pads and other things, which are costly. There's no two ways about it. So those are costly, and you have to live with that, a pair of brake pads for these AM4 4.32, I think, brakes cost something around 19,000 rupees. If you try to get it from Triumph itself, you can get other options from outside as well for lesser amount of money, like EBC and stuff, which are not bad at all and perform quite well on the road from what I've experienced till now with my previous bikes. And set of new tires will set you back for another 35,000 rupees, I think. So it's not very cheap to own, but again, that's the story with almost all the high-end bikes that we have in India. So guys, it's November now. It's 6th of November. Sorry, 7th of November today, I think. And you know what? It's winter here in India, and surprisingly, winters are the season for us when we can ride around a little bit and enjoy the weather too. So I'll be doing a lot of rides in a few coming days and try to record them as well. We are going to Horsla Hills tomorrow, which is in Andhra Pradesh, and maybe something the next weekend as well. So in case you like motorcycling contents and road trips and stuff like that, please consider subscribing to this channel, as there will be a lot of similar content coming up in the coming few days. And also please like and share this video if you did like it, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, uh, take care guys, ride safe, be safe, and bye for now.